Blog Talk Radio.
What's going on, Jets fans? Welcome back. We're here yet again at the Long Beach Joe Show. And boy, let me tell you, what a butt kicking we got today by the Bills. Oh, man, it was brutal. Jets ended up losing to the Bills 27-17. The offense had issues. There was just issues galore everywhere with all kinds of stuff. Oh, man. But we're going to get all into that. But listen, I am the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, type in Long Beach Joe, like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. Also, give me some feedback. I like hearing about what you folks think I do here on Long Beach Joe Show. Also, man, listen, please hit those messages. Let me know how you feel in there as well. We can go back and forth. So without further ado, folks, let's get into the show. I'm fired up, okay? I'm trying to be fired up, trying to be more fired up than I was watching this game. I'm also everywhere else, Twitch. I'm live streaming as well during the radio show too. So I'm on Twitch, YouTube, various live streaming platforms. Everyone that's in the chat already sees, like my link tree is up there. So please, everyone, hit those platforms as well. You can watch me record the show. You can watch me live. I go to the live stream as well for comments too. And we definitely go back and forth in there. I definitely talk to the people in the chat as well. So, you can hit me up that way. Now getting into this game, listen, there were some issues. There were some issues left and right. My goodness. I'm going to start. This offense is terrible. This offense is terrible. There is nothing else that you can say. I mean, goodness gracious. The play calling by Adam Gase was suspect. Screens constantly. This is like the same thing that we saw last year. It's like Groundhog's Day. I was saying that during the game. It's like Groundhog's Day. It's like we literally ported last year's offense and just brought it right into this year. It's the same thing. We're doing the same things that we saw last year. We're having some of the same issues that we saw last year. Goodness gracious. He finally decides to use Le'Veon Bell, on as a wideout, finally puts him out wide, but then Le'Veon Bell couldn't finish the game because he ends up with two hamstrings. That's going to hinder us as well. The hamstring injuries that Le'Veon Bell has occurred. Who knows when he's going to be 100% now. But the play calling was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. Goodness gracious. I thought Sam was really up and down. The protection wasn't necessarily his best, but I tell you what, Sam, when he threw that bad interception, when he just kind of chucked it up, I lost it. I went crazy. That's a play that Sam he can't do that out there. He can't just chuck that ball up and just think, hey, I'm just let it happen. Not against this Bills defense. I think Sam was 21 for 35 today. I think he only had like 215 yards throwing the football. I mean, it was just tough to start out. Everything was just sputtering offensively. We did kind of pull together something going in before the half. We were able to kind of speed up a little bit offensively, get the no huddle going, which is something that I thought we should have gotten, involved in a little bit earlier in the game. And we were trying to, put something together so we were able to get points before the half. So those were some of the highlights of the game. Crowder, I thought, looked solid. He was able to do some things. I think he had 115 yards and a touchdown. So he was able to make some moves when we got him the ball on some screens. There was also some other plays that he had as well. He was able to get open. But everything else was just pretty much offensively it was terrible. It was completely terrible. There were no holes for Le'Veon Bell to run through. I think he only had 14 yards on the day anyway, along with the hamstring injuries. Frank Gore had 24 yards. Frank Gore and Le'Veon Bell had the same amount of carries. They had 6 carries apiece. That's ridiculous. Anyway, Chris Herndon, who we thought, definitely was going to make a big-time impact this season, he had a fumble of the game. That really hurt us. We only saw 3 catches from Rashad Perriman. He had 17 yards. This offense was just not what we wanted. Not how we wanted to start the season at all. Not what we wanted. So I'm going to flip over to the defensive side of the ball. And I thought the defense was okay. They did let up from here and there, especially with Josh Allen being able to run and move around the way that he did. There was a lot of missed sacks, a lot of sacks that should have been had that he slipped through. A lot of guys had him wrapped up but just couldn't finish. You had to know going into this game that Josh Allen, we all know he's a runner. We all know that. We know he's a runner first because he's a trash-ass quarterback. We all know that. So if you know that, dude, when you come to get this guy, you shouldn't be coming high. You should be going low, and you should be trying to drive through him and take him down. He's a big man. If you try to go up high on the shorter pass, he'll just shrug you off and move on. This guy's he's big. Like, you can't do that. And we saw so many guys just get ran through, ran by. You know, he was able to just continue to move, either make plays with his feet or, you know, use his feet to extend the play to throw touchdowns. I mean, or to try to get the ball out of there. I mean, it was really frustrating. I tell you what, Marcus May had a big day, though. For all the people that didn't like Marcus May, he had a big day, okay? He had 2 sacks on the day, 2 tackles for loss. He forced a fumble. He had 7 solo tackles. I mean, this guy, he's the highlight of the defense. You know what I'm saying? I know other people really thought because we lost one safety that no other safeties on this team exist. But guess what? He exists, and he came up big today. So he played extremely well. But, man, everything else was just kind of – it was like there wasn't just much else. I thought the defense did what they could, but they were put in some tough spots, especially with the offense not scoring points and looking as bad as they did. A bunch of 3-and-outs to start the game. It was horrific. This was horrific. So I'm going to go to the callers because I want to get y'all thoughts on this. You know, everyone, please call in. The number is 515-602-9639. Call in. Give me your takes. I understand this was a frustrating game. I understand people are upset, but let me tell you something. Don't be cursing on my show. Do not curse. This is a family show. Don't call in here and curse because if you use curse words, I'm going to have to get you out of here. I'm telling you right now, so don't do that. So we're going to get to our first caller of the night. It's going to be area code 917. 917, you know, let me know your name, where you're from, and what are your thoughts on this loss to the Bills.
Hey, it's Elias from Rochester, New York. How you doing, man?
Hey, how's it going? I'm doing as well as I possibly could at this point, I guess.
Man, what a disaster, man.
What are your thoughts, man?
Dude, I'm from upstate New York. I live like an hour from Buffalo, so I got nothing but Josh Allen fans, huge Bills fans, absolutely delusional, man. And I have to deal with all of them, especially going back to school this week, man. I make it pretty apparent of my take that Darnold's a better quarterback than Allen, but
yeah,
I'm going to have to deal with all of them, man. But, yeah, not a good start. Definitely say that. I think the biggest issue was the time of possession was wild. The offense was terrible and was barely out there.
Yeah.
Like, so many of the guys didn't even get, like, Ryan Griffin was invisible. Chris Hogan was invisible. And I didn't really expect much from him, but, like, you'd expect more, at least, like, one catch at least. But it was 3-and-out. Like, the best player today was probably Braden Mann, the punter. And that's saying something, man. Like, dude, what the hell, man? We got to fire this crackhead Adam Gase, man. Crazy eyes, man. Oh, my God. Jesus Christ. I remember,
Go ahead. I'm going to let you, go ahead. Spill what you got, man. Go ahead, spill your guts. Go ahead.
At camp, like last year, me and a friend of mine who's also a Jets fan, we were having a discussion with 2 Bills fans, and we kept saying, like, all these improvements to the roster, but they kept saying, you guys hired Adam Gase, the head coach is everything. And then I learned that the hard way, like, man, like, nothing but dumbass screen passes, pass behind the line. It's just no adjustment. Like, when he finally decided after a year to line Bell up as a receiver, he gets hurt. Yeah, man, there's not much to say. Defense looked better second half. They couldn't stop Josh Allen, who's, I tell all the Bills fans, he's basically a running back because you see that pass he threw to John Brown just went like 5 feet over his head. Like,
terrible.
Dude, yeah. My dream is Josh Allen just becomes Nathan Peterman and becomes Sam Darnold's backup. Wouldn't that be great? They're best buds, man. That'd be perfect.
Listen, I'm in agreement with you, though, man. Look, the offense was really bad today, really bad. And
terrible. Like
you said, the play calling to me was so atrocious and predictable. It was so predictable.
Yeah.
It was like you could see everything that was coming. It was literally the same stuff we talked about. Exactly. It was the same stuff that we saw last year. The exact same stuff.
Exactly.
And it was like, how has this not been changed?
And we get so
how could you
hopeful.
come into
We
this
get
season
so damn
and do the same
hopeful.
thing? Go ahead. Yeah.
He says, Dave tells us the stuff we want to hear. This is what everyone
Yep.
says. Once his game plan goes wrong, he's screwed. And so he sells us the game plan that we all agree, we're going to give Bell the ball more, we're going to spread it out, get the tight ends involved, all this stuff we want to hear. And then that doesn't work. And then he's like, let's just keep doing it. It was like last year with the Bengals game when he just kept running Bell up to Geno Atkins and he's just like, let's do it again. That was when it was the picture in your screen, the anyone with eyes, right? Could see that wasn't working. Right. Man, that's gold, man. Seriously.
Anybody, listen, anybody. It's insane to me to watch this. And it like you said, and I warned people of this, was that, listen, Adam Gase is a good talker. He's a good talker. Look how he talked himself. Look how he talked himself into a job after blowing up Miami. He came here. He talked himself into a job. Then he talked the Johnson into firing, Mike Maccagnan, which should have been done earlier, but he talked him into firing Mike Maccagnan. And now he's talking to you in the offseason. Oh, yeah, we're going to change things. Oh, yeah, the offense, just throw all those numbers. It was terrible last year. Just throw it all away. This is a new year, guys. It's the same thing from him, bro. It's the same thing, the same type of play calling, the same type of the stuff. It's just ridiculous. But we can go on about Adam Gase all day, but I want to get your thoughts on Sam Darnold and his performance today. I tell you what, I understand he was hindered by some of the protection, and there were some guys that had some issues. But that interception, when he just chucked it up there,
boy.
that's a play you cannot have a QB trying to make that play. You could not do that. So let me get your thoughts on him, man.
So, I'm a huge Sam Darnold defender, but I'll admit he didn't play well. I'm not sold out on him. I'm not going to say, let's go get Trevor Lawrence. Let's get the top prospect, because Sam was a top prospect, and he's putting in a crap situation. And just getting another, Trevor Lawrence is probably more of a highly touted prospect. Do you think, Joe Burrow or Tua would succeed with the Jets? Like, it's a quarterback killing organization, basically.
Yeah.
But, he didn't play well. I'm not going to. It's one game. A lot of things I was hoping he'd improve on, he didn't really. My biggest issue was when he was rolling out towards the sideline. Guy was coming at him, dude, just chuck the ball out of bounds. Why did you just run out of bounds?
Yeah.
I didn't get that. To be honest, man, it felt like I barely got to see him play because the time of possession was so lopsided. I was like, oh, man, I can't wait to see Sam play. He was barely out there. I'm like, and I don't know if he'd play any better if he was out there longer, but I know if Bell didn't get hurt, he wasn't getting any carries. And even before he got hurt, why was him and Frank Gore it was like San Francisco or like New England where they just all split carries. Like, he was here to be the lead guy. That's what I was scared about Gore. That's what I hated that signing, because I knew Adam Gase has a huge crush on him, and he was going to, I don't like you, love. Hey, Gore, all right, let's make this happen, man. Cool. And, now with Bell going, that's scary. Maybe you bring back Bilal or something, Bilal Powell, because, I don't know, hamstrings, that takes a while, man.
Yep.
Especially with
and we
stuff. And what I was
we've seen the effect of the hamstring stuff here too. We've seen it really cost us. Hell, Mims is dealing with a hamstring. We have CJ Mosley still dealing with his hamstring stuff. So we've seen that. It's just completely crazy.
Or same thing, groin, hamstring, same thing. Dude, I was thinking about this. Do you think CJ Mosley is gonna maybe retire or something after this year? If you're not gonna play for 2 years, how are you supposed to come back? I guess that's a bit off topic, but.
Yeah, no. Hey, look, I don't think he's going to retire. I just think that he opted out. From what he said, he opted out this year, because the Roro. Again, I'm live on YouTube. All these other places. Dude, he said he opted out because of Roro, so I respect that.
Dude, I fully say the Roro now. When I first heard you say it, I'm like, man, I'm going to stop calling it the Rona. I'm going to call it the Roro. So, I use that
Roro.
term. Shout out to you, man. Yeah, the Roro.
Yeah. Thank you. The algorithm, they be trying to shut your boy down, but yeah. But I know we talk about Bell, and Bell. Yeah, I know we talked a little bit about Bell, and say it again.
Oh yeah, keep going, man. Sorry about that.
Oh, yeah. Now, I know, we touched on a little bit on Le'Veon Bell and the hamstring issues. He was doubtful to come back, so he sat down. I'm hoping that he can come back a little bit later. But I want to go to this receiving core with you because Crowder, I thought, played solidly today. He did more than anybody else. What were your expectations for some of the guys going into the game? And now how do you feel coming out of it? What guys didn't show up that you thought would?
I thought Perryman would have more than would he have one catch or two catches.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he had the potential to make like a big play, possibly get like have a good, deep ball play, kind of like a Robbie Anderson. Not as good as that, but like kind of that's just one play that game where it's a big play and for big yardage. I expected more than him. I didn't really expect much from Chris Hogan. I don't know if he's been playing with the first team that much in camp, because I know they signed him in the middle of camp and he's kind of an old veteran. But man, I expected, Ryan Griffin to get more involved. Chris Herndon obviously had that bad fumble, but man, I just expected, like, there was obviously enough pass attempts, but it just seemed like I said before, that the offense was barely out there.
Mm-hmm.
But and when they were out there, it was not, and it's not only the defense's fault. When you're getting a 3-and-out and run, sack, punt every time, obviously you're going to be out there. You're not going to be out there. So, I was a bit disappointed. I didn't have huge expectations for Perryman, at least in week one. Like, I have a Bills fan who told me he's high on Perryman too, and I was like, yeah, man, I hope, but the one non-delusional Bills fan, but he was told me he's high on Perryman and Herndon, but man, I'm hoping for more next week. But yeah, this game was just a disaster. And also the penalties, man. What happened?
Oh.
That first kick, dude. Did we sign Jadeveon Clowney or something? Like, why were there so many penalties? Like, that first play, like, Daniel Brown got that penalty. I'm like, oh, this again? Oh, no. And then with, like, pass interference, the fear was terrible. You got a pass interference, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
I think I think Desir ended up getting benched, I believe, at one point.
Yeah,
I think we had I think like 80 yards in penalties. Look, when you're a team that doesn't have the talent,
90,
you can't shoot yourself in the foot as well.
Exactly.
Like, you can't do that.
You can't lose on your own. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you're already getting your butt whooped. You can't kill yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just like slot. Like, everyone was talking. Like, I heard a lot of the Jet shows I listened to were saying they're expecting all across the league low scoring and sloppy. It was definitely sloppy, but every other team, dude. The most frustrating thing is that bad teams won today. Mitch Trubisky won. The Jaguars won. Another tanking team won. Like, and then we're over here, man. The scoreboard shows that we did like a good job compared to what we actually did. Like, it seemed, dude. It seemed close. It wasn't close at all. It was just the last touchdown was just garbage time, and not much.
Not
much at all.
It's complete. Yeah, just I was shocked at just how bad the offense was. Like you said, just everything that we saw, it was just completely ridiculous. I mean, the thing about Brashad Perryman, though, and I know people expected a lot of big things from him. I necessarily didn't, because I've watched him his career. He's not like the worst guy in the world, but he's not a number one. He's not a guy that's going to change your offense that much. But you're also playing kind of on chicken wire and duct tape with him, because he has a knee injury as well. That knee could easily swell up and be agitated, and he could be gone for quite a bit of time too. So I just thought we were almost kind of set up, for this situation, because we didn't draft enough wide receivers in this year's draft.
God, man. Like,
we did not do enough. What are your thoughts on that? I'm not a Joe Douglas basher either.
Me either.
Go ahead.
Me either. Not at all.
So what are your thoughts on
James
that?
Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. When I was doing my I don't watch that much college football. I mainly get my draft information based on online YouTubers, shows and stuff. Kind of go off attributes based on who I want, different traits and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I was thinking, when I was doing my little mock draft, which I've never played football. I'm not like a scout. I wanted to draft 3 wide receivers, man. I was like, let's just go all offense this draft. Make it easy for Sam. Go 3 receivers, 2 linemen, 1 running back, and we only get. And I love the Mims pick, but dude, you had a guy like Donovan Peoples-Jones just sitting there in the 6th round, and you had guys in the 4th round, but you needed a dude from Florida International University, which I didn't even know was a school before the draft, who's extremely raw, and dude, you couldn't. And then you just signed your backup quarterback like a month later, and then he can't play, so you needed to sign your other project backup quarterback, Mike White, who I heard was decent in camp, but I guess it's cool to have a long-term backup guy, but he's not going to do anything this year. And when the thing is, you gotta take advantage of the time Sam Darnold's on his rookie deal. You can't just be like, we're going to waste a pick on the future, which planning for the future is important, but you got to get this kid as much help as you can. You have to see what he has, and I think he's a good quarterback. I think he will be a good quarterback. He didn't play well today, but he's shown a lot of flashes. Just needs to get the consistency and needs to make less bad decisions. Also, accuracy was a little suspect today. I'm not too worried about that. I know there was a few games last year, especially New England was a disaster, Jacksonville. The line today, O-line, it wasn't good. It wasn't last year bad, but he was under pressure a ton. But that's also when you're playing a really good defense. But, man, if we got a guy in the 3rd round, maybe instead of getting Zuniga, because a lot of people are saying that's a reach, and I didn't hate that pick. He needed a pass rusher, but to get more of a rotation pass rusher was I wasn't crazy about that. But I thought if you get that 3rd round pick or the one where they traded back with New England, draft the receiver there, because this was supposed to be the deepest wide receiver class since 2014 or in a while, where they had Mike Evans, OBJ, Brandon Cooks, some other guys I'm probably forgetting. But just to have one there, it's just frustrating that we're putting Sam Darnold in such a bad situation.
Yeah. And I'm right there with you. I want to kind of go over to the defensive side of the ball with you, because I felt like the defense was definitely played better than the offense. But they struggled here and there. But I want to talk to you about Marcus May, man. What are your thoughts about his performance in this game? Because there was a lot of people, a lot of fans, particularly, before we got rid of the other safety we had. Yeah, you're right.
Man, I'm with you on that.
He showed up and showed out.
I call Jamal Adams a crybaby. I'm glad he's gone. Dude didn't want to be here, just crying about his money, and I want to win. Blah, blah, blah. All right. But Marcus May, he played well, man. I was first worried because he was playing in almost a new position in a new role. But dude, 2 sacks. I was impressed.
Yeah. I was impressed as well.
Pretty much the only bright spot. Him and Bless Austin played pretty well, and they were kind of the only bright spots. Maybe who's that dude? I think Lange, or I might be getting him confused. Yeah. There are a few bright spots on the defense, but the defense the defense isn't built off of dudes who play a premier position. We don't have any good pass rushers. We don't have good corners. That's the most important thing. And I know you talk about that a lot. Yeah, man, it's important. And you need to get yourself a good pass rusher and a good corner before you pay a safety $20 million. And you draft 6 interior linemen in the past decade. Jesus Christ, man! Who is it? Yeah, Wilkerson, Sheldon Richardson, Quentin Popos, Quinn Williams, 5 in 10 years. The frustrating thing is the Niners have done that, and it's worked for them. But also, some of their guys can also play on the outside. They've gotten Buckner, Armstead, but of course,
those guys can get after it.
Freaking this team's cursed, man. But and they got the right guy on the show there. So
listen, everything you're talking about next week. Yeah, you're right. Niners are right around the corner. Yeah, but everything you're saying is right. Like you said, I've been talking about that for a while. Impact positions and how much they matter, and a lot of people seem to not understand that. You can go get the greatest, safety or whatever other inside linebacker. If you can't get a pass rusher, an outside linebacker that can pass rush, or a defensive end that can pass rush, or corners that can cover in today's NFL, with the offenses looking the way that they're looking, with the rules being slanted the way that they're slanted. It's a passing league. It's literally an offensive league. If you can't get those guys that really matter, it doesn't matter how good, you're going to struggle and you're going to have issues. And like you said, we're bad at positions of impact. That's why we're bad.
Exactly.
That's why we're bad. You got the greatest running back in the world. If you don't have a line to block or you don't have wide receivers that keep a defense honest and they can just stack the box, and what do you have? So you're right on you hit the nail on the head. Marcus May played extremely well today, and I'm not gonna go into bashing people or nothing like that, but I've been saying for a while that this guy has that talent, and the way that he's being utilized in Greg Williams' scheme, I think, is phenomenal. Can you talk to me about what you saw out of Greg Williams today? Did you like the defensive play calls at all?
So my only issue was I wish there was kind of a guy there or more than one guy to stop Josh Allen, because he didn't play well against the run when it came to running backs. Well, like guys who at the running back position. You could argue they had 3 running backs if Josh Allen's kind of a borderline running back, but I wish we had a better way to stop him. But man, I'm so impressed with Greg Williams. He does a lot with a little. Like when Bless Austin's not a big name cornerback. Nate Harrison just got cut and he's playing today. He does, especially at those premium positions. He's rotating guys in, he does his best to get the best out of players, which is something that our head coach Adam Gase does not do at all. But it's tough. He had a tough ask, but after that first half, it looked a lot better. Josh Allen was running around like crazy in the first half, missing sacks and stuff, which I was a bit bummed about, but man, he doesn't have the help that he needs to be like an absolutely like one of the top defenses. Like if you get Greg Williams with some legit really good players, he could look even better. But I think I'm a big Greg Williams fan too. So
yeah, I'm right there with you. I think he's doing the best that he can with the guys he has, and it's crazy that people always give kind of Gaze a pass talking about the talent that isn't there, the talent that isn't here, and he's working with the guys that he has. Even when guys were injured last year, we didn't see Greg Williams make any excuses. He didn't have his 2 starting inside linebackers for a while. When Mosley going down and Avery Williamson with that torn ACL, he was missing last season. So he just kept playing. And it didn't matter. We had trash-ass Jermaine Johnson last year. Did not matter. He was still putting guys out there and putting them in positions. Yep. He was doing that. And you coming over this year, and I think that, again, the way that he's utilizing May, which is what I hoped that he would do, and he did exactly what I wanted him to do, was put May in a position to continue to make plays, put him up at the line, have him do his thing, and he did that. But there was just some issue there. And, again, we need to continue to address this coming in the draft, coming in the next season, that cornerback position, all that stuff. We've got to shore that up. But one of the things that I was kind of surprised about a little bit was Quinn Williams. I wanted to see a little bit more out of him. I know he had 3 tackles today, but I was hoping for a lot of tackles for loss, like for him to blow things up, maybe get a sack in this game. I mean, what are your thoughts on that, man? What are your thoughts about his performance in this game? And were you disappointed at all, or how do you feel about it?
So didn't he have like a half a sack? Like I think it was one of the defensive ends or outside linebackers had him, and then he just cleaned up the sack or something. He had that, right?
No, he only had 3 tackles today on the sheet. They might go back and give that to him, but as of right now, he has nothing. So he might have just been in there, but he didn't get it. He just had 3 tackles today.
Like, it's tough, man, because a lot of times you got that one defensive tackle who kind of eats up the blocks and lets the other guys play well, but at the same time, you don't draft that guy 3rd overall. So I'm not completely sold out on him. I don't expect him to become an Aaron Donald. That's just like a once-in-a-generation type talent, but hopefully if he can become like, I don't know, like an A-tier, B-tier kind of defensive tackle who still can get close to double-digit sacks, which sacks aren't everything, especially at that defensive tackle position, but I just want him to see a lot more disruption, get a lot more pressure up the middle. That would be very helpful. And I didn't really see, did he do well against the run? Because I know that the line did pretty well against the run this game.
Yeah, they were pretty solid.
I wasn't
pretty solid
watching
against
too much,
the run.
but yeah. I had my eyes on May for a bit, watching the defense play, just because he was playing really well. I just wanted to see how he was doing. So I didn't have my eyes on Quinn too much, but I'm not completely sold out on him. Yeah, you want more, but it takes time, especially at that position. Like I saw something like a lot of the top defensive tackles kind of struggled in their first year and then played a lot better the next year. But he didn't play great. Obviously, 3 tackles isn't a ton. Tackles isn't the greatest stat in the world, but yeah, hopefully we see more in the upcoming weeks. Hopefully, I think next week would be a good test, especially since that team, the Niners, run the ball so much. That would be a good test to see how he's doing. But also, that's a good O-line. But yeah, that's why I don't want to get too distracted to next week. But a lot of people are saying it's going to be an absolute blowout. Now I think, yeah, probably. But their offense plays to our defensive strength. But yeah, man. Hopefully we see more soon. But if he plays average, like, you can't draft a guy 3rd overall to just be an average guy who's just going to eat up blocks. You don't want Leonard Williams 2.0.
Yeah.
They share the same last name, so you might get kind of worried about that. But it's just a tough loss, man.
Yeah, it is, and man. Like I said, it's just game 1. I want to see a little bit more out of him. Hopefully, as the season continues to roll on, things will really get to working for him. Like you said, for a guy that you draft that high, you want to see him really show up and just destroy the place. Like, that's really what you want to see. You want to see havoc. You want to see him wreak havoc. So, so my next question for you is, this inside linebacker, this linebacker situation. You started to touch on it. We have issues here and there.
Yeah.
We all know C.J. Mosley is out. We know, that Williamson didn't start either. We went out there with Hewitt, Langley, Cashman. Is now, dealing with stuff. So what are your thoughts about their performance, and how do you feel about how they played against the Bills? Do you think that they were pretty solid as far as keeping Josh Allen, kind of wrapped up a little bit, or do you think they could have did a better job?
They definitely could have done a better job. I thought Hewitt was decent. Cashman went out pretty quick. Did he end up coming back in the game after he had probably a hamstring or something? Did he end up coming back? I didn't see that.
Yeah, I don't think I don't remember him coming back. So I think it was Neville Hewitt and Langley and Harvey Langley that was out there.
Harvey Langley, yeah. Is the guy we just cut, Berger, still a free agent? Because if he is, then I'd say maybe bring him back. Because if Cashman's going to miss time now with Avery out, and I think Ogletree, I think he's terrible. There's a YouTuber I watch who's a Giants fan who's always talking about how bad he is, and obviously for a backup, it's okay to have someone not the greatest, but that's the tough part. That coming into the season, we thought this was our strongest position. We had Mosley, Williamson. Those are the 2 guys who, the 2 really good guys, and then Hewitt and Cashman are really good as backups. But now, when you got guys going out, guys opting out, which I want to say, I've seen so many fans telling, like, Mosley, oh, you're a quitter, blah, blah, blah. Dude, I'm totally fine with him opting out, man. Like, it's a bad virus. He's got a family. That should be his priority. Football comes second, obviously. It sucks because you're paying him so much money. But, yeah. But it's tough, man, because when you had so much depth at that position and now you don't anymore, it's just pretty disappointing. And also, I think the linebacker, we obviously talked about premium positions. Obviously, linebacker isn't much of a premium position, but I was talking to someone about this, how I feel like there's not going to be as many, especially if you're going to play a lot of man coverage. You're not going to see 2 linebackers on the field at the same time, 2 inside linebackers, because you obviously had Brian Poole out in the slot. So so maybe you could get around an injury like that when you have 1 inside linebacker on the field. Obviously, you got your 3 down guys, your 2 outside linebackers, pass rushers, and then you got your 2 safeties, 3 corners. You could kind of mitigate that in a way. But, yeah, it's tough. It sucks to go from having so much depth at a position, and then you got your top 3 are out with, obviously Peanut too. How do you pronounce that guy's name? I've heard so many different pronunciations. Is it Onawasor? Something like that?
Yeah, Onawasor.
He's on IR,
right?
He's on IR. So.
Yeah. What are your thoughts about Terrell Basham? Because I saw him flying around out there. I thought he had some plays. He had a penalty as well, but he was, trying to move around there and make some plays. Yeah.
Yeah, he was solid.
What are your thoughts on him?
He was solid, but, man, that penalty, like, seeing that, was it roughing the passer? Like, just, I love the McGovern signing on the O-line just because he doesn't get penalized so much. And I think that this team needs to be more disciplined, less penalties, especially on special teams there were some penalties. And that, like, if you're a bad team, you're already going to lose enough. Don't make yourself lose even more.
Yep. Yeah. You're speaking facts, like you said.
I had. Oh, yeah, keep going?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Another issue I had was the punt team. So Braden Mann had that punt, and he was pinned. Andre Roberts was pinned at the 10, but let's get to the 30. I think that needs to be cleaned up a bit, too. Maybe get Ashton Davis as a gunner just to he's so fast. Get him on that force a fair catch or something like that, because that was a good punt, man. And like I said before, it sucks that our best rookie today was a punter.
Yeah.
Maybe,
I mean,
maybe even our best off-season acquisition. And punting's important. Like I like that pick, because if you got a guy who can just pin the defense over or pin the other team's offense around like the 20, like that's big. Especially today, like the Jets struggled with bad field position, with horrible time of possession. And, yeah, it was tough, man.
Well, yeah, I'm right there with you, dude. There was a lot of things that need to be cleaned up. Like you said, special teams. I think all that stuff will come along, but the offense it's got to do more than what it did. And even going back there, you talked about the offensive line. One guy I really wanted to highlight was Mekhi Becton. We were all looking to see, hey, how is he going to handle this situation? We all know with the Roro, the practices are a bit different. No preseason for him. He's a young kid that's going out there. What were your thoughts about his performance today? I know he had a penalty, but how you feel about the way he played, and how you feel about, the teams he has coming up, he's going to constantly be tested. We play a lot of really good pass rushers this year.
Yeah. So to be honest, a lot of times I don't really just keep my eye glued on like the left tackle, but there were some times where Sam was getting a lot of pressure, and I didn't really know if Mekhi Becton's fault or not. I probably should have kept my eye on him a bit more. But I'm not, it's his first game. He's a rookie. He had, obviously with the Roro, this condensed offseason. The line's got 5 new starters got to learn, Offensive line's all about communication. And doing that on Zoom is tough. So, the line didn't play great. It wasn't last year bad, but hopefully they can find a way to clean that up. But, man, next week, Bosa and D. Ford and Eric Armstead, that's going to be a challenge, man.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be pushed. We got a lot of good teams coming up, but let me tell you, this game definitely leaves a bitter taste in your mouth. I'll tell you right now, because we had chances. The Bills, they missed kicks and all that stuff, and we just couldn't. We couldn't get going. We just could not get going.
We couldn't capitalize off their mistakes, which is really frustrating. And also, something about on Mekhi Becton too is that he's obviously a big dude who mauls in the run game. I would like to see maybe run Le'Veon Bell outside behind Becton, because there were, especially that one run when he tried to cut back and ended up being a tackle for loss, he had no holes. And he was, decent before he got hurt. He had one pretty decent run, not anything huge, but I think running behind, Becton's probably your best run blocker, and obviously last year just running him up the middle, Le'Veon Bell obviously being more of a patient running back. Running him to the outside, just giving a different look like that, I think would be really helpful. Yeah.
We talked about the utilization of Le'Veon Bell in this offense for so long. So many different things.
Finally he was a wide receiver. Finally. I thought, man, your reaction was golden, man. I'm like, he finally did it. Look what happened. It worked.
It's absolutely crazy, but listen, man, I want to thank you for calling in, bro. You're a great caller.
Man.
Please call in again the next time I do my live show. It's great to speak with you.
For sure.
So thank you.
We got to do this again, man.
Yeah, right, absolutely. So you have a good one, man.
All right, cool.
Man, listen, that last caller brought the fire, okay? Absolutely brought the fire, knew his stuff, knows everything about the Jets like he talked about. I've been talking about utilizing Le'Veon Bell for a long time. We've all talked about it. He's one hell of a guy. He's got great hands. He's a good receiver. Split him out wide and throw the ball to him. Why not? What could it hurt? We ain't got no wide receivers. What could it hurt? You know what I'm saying? And he finally did it, and boom, utilization. You know what I'm saying? And look what happened. So Oh man, it's crazy. The lines are going. Look, I'm gonna get back to the calls in just a second. 908, you're gonna be next up, but I'm gonna talk to this chat. I got a lot of people in the chat here. They're going off. Let me read some of this chat. For those of you that are listening on Blog Talk, I am live streaming as well as doing a live radio show. So I am, on Twitch, YouTube, all those things. You know what I'm saying? Anybody, again, I have a link tree up. You can go to YoungJ00 on Twitter. You can also go to The Long Beach Joe on Twitter as well, and you can follow that. And I'm telling you, you'll get all the information about, when I'm going to be doing my shows, when I'm streaming. You can be in the chat or you can call in. Again, the number is 515-602-9639. Go ahead and call in and talk Jets with me, man. Because this is a tough team to, be a fan of. So we're going to hit the chat right now. We're going to go through some of the comments here. The first comment we're seeing here is Omar Mercado. He is saying, Joe, are you concerned about Sam's future with this franchise? Yes and no. Yes, because if he keeps taking hits or, he gets shell-shocked, he's as good as done. I always say the same thing. If you don't protect a QB correctly, if you don't make sure that a QB is comfortable in the pocket, if you don't give a QB weapons or somebody he can get the ball to and he takes a lot of hits over a span of his career, there's two things that can happen. One is he gets shell-shocked. Okay, shell-shocked. A great example of that would be Carr that used to play for the Texans. I keep bringing this up because I'm telling you, Carr, when he played for the Texans, took a ton of hits. And let me tell you something, he was never the same. he was never the same, baby. Like he would see things that weren't there and just throw the ball. No matter, it didn't matter how far out of that situation he was the first year with the Texans, he was just never the same. And we saw that last year in the Patriots game where Sam Darnold literally said, I'm seeing ghosts. He literally said that. When they were blitzing and taking his head off, I'm seeing ghosts. Well, this year, he got hit a couple times in this game, too. You keep getting him hit the way that we're getting hit. If you don't protect him adequately, okay, then that's what's going to happen. He's going to start seeing ghosts, and you'll never get what you should get out of him. You'll never get that franchise QB look. You won't get it because he's going to keep taking hits, and he's going to be scared for his life. The second thing that happens to QBs get hit a lot, they get hurt. Andrew Luck is a perfect example of that. Andrew Luck was getting smacked around all day, every day when he first got to the Colts. They built a line around him, but the damage was already done. He said, look, everything hurts every single week that I'm out of here. And he retired early because of it. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to see that here. So am I worried about concerned about the future of him with this franchise, Omar? I'm concerned if we keep getting him hit. But if we're talking about drafting another QB because of the situation we put Sam in, it's like, how do you even judge him? You've given him no wide receivers. You've given him next to no protection, and you put him in the hands of a coach that is completely incompetent. And we all know that. And I mean, so how do you even judge? Even if you draft another quarterback, you put him in the same exact situation. And by the way, it's not like the Jets have a long history, illustrious history of being able to get franchise quarterbacks. That's why we were so ecstatic about Sam Darnold. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's absolutely crazy. It's just, I'm just worried. So I'm going to leave the chat. Everybody keep going off in the chat. I'm going to come back to you. But now we're going to go back to the calls, okay? We're going back to the calls real quick. Again, everyone call in 515-602-9639. That is the number. I'm live. I'll talk to you. We talk about the Jets. Wherever you're seeing, I'm on various platforms that I'm streaming on. Twitch is Long Beach Joe. YouTube is Long Beach Joe Jets. I have other YouTube pages as well. I'm on Twitter as well. I'm on Periscope. Anywhere, comment and let me know what you folks are thinking because I will be talking to the folks that are in the comment on the various platforms that I am streaming on. So we're going to get back to these calls now. 908, you are up. It is your time. Tell me your name. Let me know where you're from. And what are your thoughts about this loss to the Bills?
Hey, Joe. It's Steve. What's up?
Hey, Steve, how's it going, man? What's going on with you?
I'm doing all right. A little bummed out because of this loss.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, everybody's pretty bummed, I tell you. Everybody. We're just looking at the situation all the same. So let's get started with it, man. We're going to talk about this offense first. What are your thoughts about the performance of Sam Darnold?
Sam today played very, very, very mediocre today. I mean, there were at times where he missed on some plays. I mean, there were even at times where the receivers even dropped some passes. I mean, Jamison Crowder dropped a pass that he should have had in the first quarter, midway through the first quarter. It was just today the Jets just did not show up today. They just didn't show up for that first half against Buffalo. They basically played as flat as a pancake in that first round. It's just, unfortunately, the mistakes is that it's just they made a lot of bad decisions. I mean, Josh Allen was the only person that ran over the Jets defense today. It was just. And it's just, I mean, Adam Gase was finally using Le'Veon Bell, but then, of course, Bell goes out with the hamstring injury. I mean, that was why. It was a contacted injury. I mean, because of that thing that Milano did today on Bell, that was the reason why Bell got hurt. It was just, I mean, the Jets then finally did have a spark towards the end of the first half. But, I mean, the thing is, you got to go to the end zone when you don't have any timeouts left. You have 21 seconds on the clock. You go. Instead, you do a screenplay to Crowder. I am sick and tired of Sam doing these screenplays to the receivers. You got when you're in a 2-minute drill, you gotta take a shot at the end zone. You have the ball on the Buffalo 18-yard line, and you gotta throw the ball into the end zone. Listen, if you end up throwing an incomplete pass, that's okay. You have more time on the clock. Instead, you throw a screenplay with no timeouts left. You can't do that. And it's just Adam Gase at times, once again, this is the problem from last year. His coaching was off again. Sean McDermott out-coached Adam Gase throughout this whole entire game.
Yeah, you're completely correct, Steve. I watched that drive again. I was shocked that Adam Gase didn't come out and run more no huddle earlier in the game. That was my thing. I was looking at the situation and I said to myself, well, where's the no? Because I understand that the Bills' defense is good. Like there's no doubt about that.
No, listen,
but you saw how we were able to move the ball a bit more before the half because we utilized that no huddle. We start quick. We start going, and it didn't allow them to get their packages on and off the field so easily. So then they had to just account what we had. I thought that he would do that a little bit more because it worked. But then all of a sudden we did it before the half and we came out and we just kind of went back to the same old. But, I mean, that's, Adam Gase and his play calling, I guess. Right, Steve?
Yeah, it's just his play calling was just completely off. I mean, now the thing was in the second half, listen, Buffalo, I got to tell you, they made mistakes in that second half. I mean, listen. The first field goal, I was really surprised that Buffalo didn't challenge it because I'll tell you one thing, that should have been a good field goal for Buffalo. But I got to be honest, the Bills were keeping us in this game. Like, they were actually playing very soft in the third quarter today. And, I mean, listen, I thought when Sam Darnold made that connection, I mean, the 69-yard play was probably the best offensive play we had all game. I mean, we had chance after chance to get back in the game. And then at the beginning of the fourth quarter, Buffalo makes a mistake. They get a face mask penalty. We get an extra 15 yards. But then Adam Gase decides to become an idiot and just throw a screenplay to Herndon. I mean, listen, Herndon's got to hang on to the ball. I mean, that play was all Herndon's fault. But you don't throw a screenplay to a tight end like that. You only do that with a running back and a wide receiver. You don't do it to a freaking tight end.
Well, you could throw screens to tight ends, but I think what you should be doing is trying to push the ball down the field a little bit more. And I think the screenplays, particularly from Adam Gase, are they're pretty predictable. Everyone knows that's what's coming. And I just think Herndon could have held on to that. Go ahead.
I am just so sick of these screenplays. I'm sick of it. Joe, I am absolutely sick of these screenplays. Darnold's got to throw the ball down the field. Listen, if you want to do a screenplay, fine, but you got to do it when your offensive line protects. Now, listen, the offensive line at the beginning of the game, I thought they were mediocre. I thought they played a lot better than they did. I think Mekhi Becton, despite the fact that he did give up the sack to Jerry Hughes today, I thought Mekhi Becton actually did pretty good for it in his debut, in his rookie debut. I mean, listen, he's going to definitely be going up against a lot more different other pass rushers this season. But, I mean, Mekhi Becton, I thought, did pretty good. The rest of the offensive line was mediocre today. I'm not going to say they were terrible today. But, I mean, they were going up against a really tough defensive line that the Bills have. But, I mean, that's what I got to say on the line.
Yeah. You know, I thought the exact same thing, Steve. It was kind of, you know, when you looked at the situation and the line, I was looking at Mekhi Becton myself this day because I wanted to see, you know, just how he would react to the situation. First game, next to no preseason games, or no preseason games, excuse me. Next to, you know, the practices were pretty scrim because of what we're dealing with. And so I was wanting to see how this kid was going to react to all that stuff. And I thought he was, I mean, all right. He did, like you said, he did have that sack. He had a penalty as well, but you know, he didn't, you know, just get rolled over and fall over every single time. So he's a young kid. He's going to learn. You expect a tackle, especially when you're going up against guys like Jerry Hughes and Edmonds and Murphy and all these guys that the Bills have. You know, he looked all right for the day, but I just thought the line just didn't do enough. There wasn't a lot of holes for Le'Veon. You know, the running game wasn't. It just nothing was enough. Offensively, just nothing was enough. We did not do enough offensively. And I thought that there was a couple guys that I was expecting a little bit more from that didn't really give us enough either. And I kind of want to go back to the wide receiver position with you. You started to touch on the line, so I was just letting you in because let me tell you, you're spitting some fire, Steve. But what are your thoughts about the performance of Rashad Perriman and Chris Hogan? Did you expect more out of those wide receivers? Did you expect them to make more of an impact? And it just nothing came from there?
They need to have the game that Jamison Crowder had. Listen, Jamison Crowder today was probably the best offensive player today. I mean, you got to have games like what Jamison Crowder did today. I mean, the thing is though, Joe, unfortunately, it's just Rashad Perriman was honestly showing up towards the end of the game. I mean, the good thing that he did towards the end of the game was when he drew that penalty that Buffalo got pass interfered on. That was one of Rashad Perriman so far. That was his best moment of the game because that led to the 1-yard touchdown run by Josh Adams. But, I mean, the thing is, though, you can't start off flat in games. And this is something that happened in the past with when we had Todd Bowles as our coach. It was something that we had in the past with Todd Bowles. We can't have this happen anymore. Even when you're going up against a good team, you can't start flat as a pancake. You gotta take advantage. It's just
but I mean we've seen that with Gaze though.
Unfortunately, we didn't.
Yeah, we've seen that with Gaze though. Even last year, there were games when the offense, just the team as a whole, would just come out completely flat. We saw that in games last year. We saw that in games with the offense last year too. They would come out and just not play well and just start off slow. They just seem lethargic, and then before you know it, we're down, and then they just don't give us anything. I mean, this is something that we've seen, and it's got to get corrected, like you said.
Yeah, it's just the thing is, I know it was only one game today, and this was the first game that the Jets played. And listen, I was expecting the team to make mistakes today, but you just can't do these kind of things, and especially when you go up against a good team like Buffalo is. And listen, Buffalo, I got to tell you, I mean, it's just that it was just that was the thing. And now, the defensive side of the ball. The one player that showed up on this side of the ball today was Marcus May. Marcus May, to me, I thought played phenomenal today. He was kind of playing at the level that Jamal Adams was playing at when he was on our team. Of course, listen, Jamal Adams said this after the game today in their game. Seattle scored 38 points. He says, I'm not used to seeing that. It's like, give me a break, Jamal Adams, for you saying something like that. Because it's just, the thing is, Joe, it's just, the thing is that Marcus May, I thought, played really good. Also, I thought Bless Austin played a good game. Bless Austin, I got to tell you, ever since after when he was benched, when he got benched from Week 16 last year in the home finale against Pittsburgh, I got to tell you, he really stepped it up. I thought even the tackle he made on Josh Allen towards the end of the half for us to lead to the fumble that led to the field goal, I thought that was a phenomenal play by Bless Austin. I got to give Bless Austin credit. But listen, Bless Austin is still very young, and he still has some stuff he's got to learn. But listen, I got to be honest right now. I think he's the best corner on the team right now. And let me tell you something. Pierre Desir looked horrific today. Got benched in the second quarter. I got to tell you one thing. The thing I like about Greg Williams as our defensive coordinator, when he sees something that he doesn't like from one of our teammates, he will put them on the bench. And you know what? That's honestly very smart by Greg Williams to do that. Listen, I trust Greg Williams more than Adam Gase does. Because honestly, Joe, it's just Greg. No, listen, the run defense I thought did really good. I mean, Quinn Williams, excuse me. I keep on saying Copels. I don't know why, but Quinn Williams today, I thought did okay today. I mean, there were some things that I felt that he could have done a little bit better, but I mean, it's just that that roughing the passer penalty he had, midway through the third quarter. I mean, despite the fact that Buffalo, that was when the rookie kicker missed the second field goal, he still has some things that he's got to work on. But he's got to raise it to up the game. I mean, listen, this is only 1 week, okay, and it was the first time that this team played. But the team has to get it together next week for the home opener. I mean, we got to play against a very, very, very tough San Francisco team next Sunday. Yeah. I mean, obviously, we'll talk more about that game next on Saturday when you have your show. But it's just the thing is, we're going to be at home. We got to do things better. And I mean, Adam Gase has to do something better with his coaching decision, because let's say if he continues to coach the way like how he was doing at the beginning of the season last year, he's going to be on his way out the door.
Yeah, he is. Steve, you are bringing the fire. I'm just letting you go because you burning this place down. But I want to go back to the defense with you because you brought up a lot of great points. Bless, I thought, did play pretty decently today. I was really disappointed with Pierre this year. Like you said, he was getting cooked. He got his ass down too, rightfully so.
He played a bad game today.
Yeah, rightfully so. But I want to get your thoughts on Quinn Williams. I wanted to see kind of a little bit more. I know he's pretty decent in the running game, but I at least wanted to see like a bunch of tackles for loss, maybe a couple, maybe one or maybe two sacks possibly. What are your thoughts about him and his performance today on the field?
Quinn Williams, listen, he definitely made that really nice play that Marcus May made a stop on. Quinn Williams definitely had he had a sack today, which was good. But the thing is that the defense overall, though, you can't have at the beginning, because then the problem is too with the defense is that we got to take advantage of big plays when we face against an offensive team. But I mean, and listen, I do agree with you, Joe. Josh Allen is not really that good of a quarterback. I mean, listen, Josh Allen, he made mistakes today too. But the thing is, though, the biggest problem was today with the defense was we can't give up over 400 yards like we did today, because we gave up over 400 yards to the Bills' offense. And I mean,
but Steve, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, though, Steve, and I hear what you're saying. But the time of possession was so bad. I understand we can't give up 400 yards. You're right. But you also can't sit back and have the offense do next to nothing. Like you can't do that. You can't have them sit back and be put in a position where you're not giving them any kind of anything offensively. I mean, I think the Bills had the ball for like 41 minutes or something like that. We only had it for 18 minutes. I mean, the time of possession, that's so lopsided. That's crazy. I mean, the defense is going to give up something if you put them on the field that long.
And we didn't have one first down until our fourth possession of the game. You can't just rely a game, Joe, on the defense. You can't.
That's a fact.
You can't, because if you're going to lose time possession of the football, most of the time, 75% of the time in games you're going to lose. You can't. Buffalo had over 40 minutes of time possession today. You just said we had around, 18 minutes? Because we went 3
No,
and out.
18.
I would probably say, we went 3 and out, I think, 5 or 6 times today. You can't do that. It's unacceptable.
Yeah. I mean, it was just completely crazy, Steve, to watch us play like that and just, especially coming out so flat. That just sets the tone for a loss. Especially there's better teams that we have coming up, and I don't want to go too far. I don't want to talk about the schedule, but dude, we got teams coming up like KC. You start against Kansas City, how you started against the Bills.
Oh,
goodbye.
Kansas City is going to blow us
They're going to blow you out.
Kansas City is going to blow us out the door. Kansas City will blow us out the door, Joe,
Steve,
if we have that kind of a start.
They will get off the plane up by 40. If you start the game like that, they're going to get off the plane up by 40. So, Steve, phenomenal call from you, man. I want to thank you for calling in. You always bring the fire every single time, bro. All right, you have a good one, and I can't wait to hear from you the next time I have a show.
Yep. Joe, listen, man. Hopefully we'll get this together, man. One of these days we'll have a celebration call. You wait, man.
Yeah. Well, I'll be here. We'll see if that happens.
Yeah, no
Thank
problem,
you so
man.
much, Steve.
All right, man.
You have a good
day.
one. All right, same to you. Bye. Man, listen, Steve called in with straight fire. Do you hear me? Straight fire. And this is fresh after a game. You know what I'm saying? Fresh after a game. A lot of things he touched on. The fact that we came out so slow. And I keep rubbing my head because, oh, my God. It's just, the Jets just give me headaches, dude. I can't with this team. We start out so slow. And we expect more as fans out of this offense. We expect more out of this team. And when you start off slow against good teams, hell, when you start off slow against bad teams, you're setting yourself up for an L. You can't come out flat, especially when you talk the kind of talk that Adam Gase does, where he's talking about, guys, I'm changing my offense. Things are going to be different this year and all this stuff. You got to come out and put on. It's put up or shut up time. You got to come out and be ready, especially against a Bills team where is going to pin their ears back, that they're going to try to get after you. You know their scheme. You've been in the division for I don't know how long. You should absolutely be able to, handle them. You should be able to handle them offensively. If you don't have talent, you should be able to make adjustments so that that's not a huge hindrance to you. You should. You got to change up your tempo. You got to change things up. Again, when we went quick, we saw some success. We should have kept with that. Don't allow these guys to get their packages on and off the field. Do whatever you can, man. Do whatever you can. And for the love of goodness, get the ball in the hands of Le'Veon Bell. You know what I'm saying? Get the ball in the hands of Le'Veon Bell. But I'm gonna go to the chat really quickly. I'm gonna come to the calls after the chat though. 973, you'll be next. So just prepare yourself. But I'm gonna go to this chat because I am live streaming. Again, everyone that is listening to me via Blog Talk Radio, also live stream while I'm doing this show. You know what I'm saying? Or any of the other, podcasting platforms that I'm being on as well, iTunes, all that other stuff, that I'll be on soon. So, hey, listen, if you're listening on there, I also live stream as well on Twitter, on Twitch, on YouTube. So if you go to any of those platforms, Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube, my Twitter is YoungJ00. If you go on also you can go The Long Beach Joe on Twitter as well. Follow all of those accounts. And, you know what I'm saying? Just be ready because my content's going to be there and you can watch, you can listen, you can type in the chat, you can call in as well. The number is 515-602-9639. Listen, we talking all Jets here, all right? We're Jets fans. We love the team. Even though the team is in quite a situation, we're doing what we got to deal with. So I'm going to go to this chat really quickly and talk about some of the things we have here. Tony Scarface says, my brother, do you think Greg Williams could do better? Tony, first off, I want to thank you for coming to the stream. Tony, salute to you as well. Listen, Greg is out there. I think he's doing a decent job, man. I really do. I think he's doing a pretty solid job with what he has. He's putting May in positions to make play, and May made a lot of those plays today. If he sees something going wrong out there, he's going to bench your ass, and we saw Pierre Desir get that. Listen, if you're not doing what he needs to do, you're gone, and he'll pull you and put another guy in there. I thought that Greg Williams is doing a very solid job. The thing is, I think you're asking the defense a lot to be out there for, 30, 40 minutes. And 30, the Bills had the ball for 40 minutes of the game. It's like you're not helping them at all. You're not giving a rest. You're not doing the offense has got to do its part. It's got to step up. But I think Greg Williams is doing one heck of a job. Husker fan says, yep, 3 possessions in, and I thought, here we go again. Yeah, 3 possessions into the game, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. It's like, come on, we got to see more. You got to see guys really, step in, get a first down, push. You know what I'm saying? Don't just go out there and start slow, not do anything. That's insane. That shouldn't be happening. I'm going to go to another comment here. Elias Solomon said, we should play a game called Guess That Screen, which we guess with formations or screens. All of them. Solomon is fed up with Gage and the screens play calling. Look, I know there's a lot of fans that feel the exact same way. It is what it is. So I'm going to go back to the calls now, leave the chats. Everyone in the chat, please continue to, cook in and type in. Let me know what you folks are thinking. I'm going to go to the call now. 973, it is your time. Please tell me your name, where you're from, and let's talk Jets.
Hello, Joe. This is Lou from last night.
Hey, how's it going, Lou? How are you doing?
Well, better than the Jets, I think. The other call was right. The screen, they couldn't find a way out of it. We got to play against that screen. I think you guys are right about that. It could have been a lot worse though. They lost by 10, which is not necessarily a blowout, but they made stupid mistakes. They led turnovers, led to interceptions and whatnot, and 3 and out on the first 4 plays. That is not how you're going to win games, especially in the division. Where you have Buffalo, which of course I did pick to win, but the Jets are not going to win if they make these ridiculous mistakes. And with the schedule ahead, if they're going to do anything, they had to avoid that. And it looks like I'll say one thing. Gaze, I think this should be his last year. He's not doing it right.
Yeah,
he has been a problem. He's been a problem right from the start. Just awful.
You're completely correct. First off, I want to thank you for calling in first and foremost. But I think you're completely right. Like, you look at this situation and it's like you cannot afford to come out and start slow against the Bills. You can't.
Oh.
This is where you make your statement. You know what I'm saying? So this is a divisional opponent. Not saying that we're a playoff team, but if you even have aspirations of being a playoff team, you must, get it done in your division first. You must make sure that you take care of these teams in your division. You start out in a game with a divisional opponent and you come out flat. The play calling looks suspect. This is the same stuff that we saw last year, literally a repeat of the same thing. And I'm just, we all say that. We keep saying that because it's true. That's why we keep saying it, because it's absolutely true.
Unfortunately.
And it's mind-boggling. Yeah, it's mind-boggling to see this. But I want to get your thoughts on Sam Darnold, because I know a lot of fans were looking at him and they're like, man, we wish you played a little bit better today. We understand that the protection, wasn't there. But, again, that interception was atrocious. I'll be the first, but I love Sam, to the moon and back. But that interception was absolutely atrocious. He had no business throwing that football there. So I want to get your takes on him, man. How do you feel like he played today?
Well, from that mistake, he never recovered from it. So, what more can you say? He just makes one mistake and it screws up the whole game for us. He's got to work on that. He never should have thrown from that. Maybe he didn't. We would have done better. But he is making all these ridiculous mistakes, and it's costing us.
Yeah.
You got to play it smart, and he's not playing it smart. Maybe he saw another ghost.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. And the other thing that killed me, what blew my mind, was the penalties, Lou. The penalties that we had was insane. To have the type of penalty, we had like 95 penalty yards in this game. We were penalized 9 times. It's like, listen, even if you're not a talented team, right, you can't shoot yourself in the foot with more penalties. You cannot do that. What are your thoughts about how heavily penalized we were this game?
That's another thing that killed us. These ridiculous penalties, and they all went against us. So that's another mistake there, and that's gonna set us back even further. And they're so ridiculous, with the holding and whatnot. Mostly it was holding, and that's gonna set us back too. They really have to watch that. I know one game doesn't make a season, but if it doesn't improve, it's going to be a very long season.
Yeah, it is. What are your thoughts on the wide receiver core and their performance today? I know Crowder was definitely a standout because he, had 100 yards, but what are your thoughts on the other guys and the performance of, Bashad Perryman, Hogan, any of those guys?
Yeah, weak. I mean, one guy with 100 yards, that's great, but it's not going to help. It's not going to help you. Everybody needs to contribute. All from all positions. If just one guy's doing all the work and everybody else is like causing fumbles, interceptions, turnovers, and whatnot, and getting the crap back out of you, it's all relevant.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to flip over to the defensive side of the football with you. Let me tell you something. Marcus May played crazy today. I want to get your thoughts on him.
Yes.
How do you feel like he played?
Yeah, no, it's an improvement from. Like I said, like last night, the defense is what we got to work on. That was our weak point last year, and it looks to be like our weakest so far this year. We gave up a lot of points, but May made a valiant effort. It just wasn't enough. We got to work on more defense with this entire team.
Well, Lou, I don't think the defense was necessarily. I mean, of course, like Pierre Desir did not play well. There were some issues there, but I don't think the defense played as badly as some are saying, because they were on the field for so long. It was ridiculous. Yeah, you're gonna give up. There were some missed sacks. I will say that there was definitely some missed sacks and missed tackles on Josh Allen in particular. But hey, when you're out there 40 minutes, the Bills have the ball 40 minutes, and the offense is doing nothing. The defense is going to give up something. So I thought our defense for what we had, C.J. Mosley opting out, Avery Williamson, not playing today. Even the other starting Cashman dealing with the injury that he had. So then you got Neville Hood and Harvey Langley in there. I thought the defense played decently. I really did. I thought that they did what they could. They didn't get, it wasn't like they got just completely, gave up 40 points or anything like that. But, dude, they – No,
and they also got to work on trying to keep the ball more. I mean, because we got ousted in that possession. You said that above the ball 40 minutes and we had the ball 20. We got to work on keeping the ball more. I mean,
the offense has to produce. The offense has to produce. If the offense produces and gets first down, you come out and you do three, consecutive 3 and outs. You don't get a first down until your fourth or fifth possession or fourth possession it was. You don't get a first down until then. You're going to have some issues. You come out flat offensively, you're going to have issues. You're going to get dominated. If your offense does not produce and stay on the field, you're going to have some issues there. And I thought that's what we saw today.
Yeah, we did. And then some. Ugh.
Yeah. So, Lou, man, listen, you're a great caller. I want to thank you for calling in, man. Hey, next time I go live, I want to hear from you, bro.
All right. And if you can, remember, try to call in on my show on Saturday if you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and plug your show, man. Let everybody know, where they can find you and how they can call in.
Okay, it's called the Jesse Offense is Awful. No, the Enhanced Sports Show. We're on Saturdays 5. Well, I'm on Saturdays 5 to 7 Eastern Time. The number to call is 512-543-4662.
Yeah.
We got a whole bunch of shows in the service, but mine is on Saturdays.
Yeah. Hey, and everybody, check it out. Thank you so much for calling in, man. You have a good day.
Thank you, Joe.
Peace. Man, what a call from Lou. He brought the fire he had to bring. Like he said, you look at the situation, this team's got to produce offensively. You can't keep going out there, getting dominated in the time of possession, not putting up points, not getting first downs, kind of stringing your defense out and just expecting them to hold you in the games. You can't come out flat. That's my biggest problem, is coming out flat against good teams. You can't do that, because anytime you do that, you're putting yourself right on the pathway for that loss. Because good teams, they come out and they take care of business. You keep giving them opportunities, and they'll crack that code and get into the end zone easily. That was the thing today against the Bills. They missed points. They missed kicks. They missed stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And they let us stay in the game for quite some time. But, man, we just couldn't do it. We just couldn't get out of the way, couldn't get, the offense going, couldn't score when we needed to. The fumble hurt us a lot from Chris Herndon. It's just the play calling, the pressure on Darnold. it was just bad, man. It was just really bad. But I'll tell you what, like I said, the defense I thought did what they could do. They played decently. I thought Bless Austin looked solid out there. Pierre Desir, I thought was a guy I looked at, and I was just like, come on, man, you got to step your game up, especially you getting benched. You know what I'm saying? We brought you in. You got to play better. You know what I'm saying? That cornerback position continues to hinder us. I thought the front line played decently, solid against the run. But that safety position, I'm telling you, Marcus Mayer's really stepped into his own. And also McDougal. McDougal played very solid as well. He was out there flying around. The linebacking core did what they could do, especially without Cashman again, without, Avery Williamson. We all know CJ opted out. Harvey Langley and Neville Hewitt went out there and, they gave us what they could. You know what I'm saying? They went out there and played hard. I just wish that we didn't miss so many sacks. There were so many almost sacks where they were just an inch away from Josh Allen. I really wish they would have made those plays, but kind of is what it is. So the Jets end up losing to the Bills, man. Oh, that was painful. 27-17. Oh my goodness. Hopefully we have a better game coming up, and I'll be, here talking Jets. So everyone, I thank you folks for watching. Listen, I am the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, type in Long Beach Joe, like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with folks about this football team. Also, leaving some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on the Long Beach Joe Show. Listen, you can also find me on Twitter as well at YoungJ000. That's 3 zeros. Go ahead and follow me. I'll follow you right back. You want to troll me? No issues. I am the troll that lives under the bridge, okay? And I will have my Darnold jersey on at all times, even though he didn't necessarily play as well as I thought he should. You know what I'm saying? There was pressure there. I get it. But that interception was atrocious, okay? Don't ever do that again, Sam. You can also follow my show as well, which some of y'all hearing on Blog Talk, on iTunes, various podcast platforms that I'm on, which is The Long Beach Joe Show. That is on Twitter. You go ahead and troll me. I'll troll you right back. There's no issues. And as always, folks, when you see me in person, okay, you will see me. I do go to games. I'll pop out. When you see me in person, it is arms out, chest open. It is free hugs for everybody, all right? Free hugs for everybody. It'll cost you absolutely nothing. Don't listen to anyone. That is telling lies to you that this will cost. The hugs will always remain absolutely free, all right? So I want to thank you folks for listening. You folks have a good one. Peace.